All right, good people, we have made it to Thursday. Was there any doubt? You had questions. You didn't doubt that you was going to get to Thursday, did you? We made it to Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome to LoveBabz Love Talk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. And this morning, I'm delighted. I've got a bunch of artists I'm talking to today. First up at 9:15 is Maestro Perry So, who is stepping into the music director leadership at the New Haven Symphony Orchestra. This is his first season. He starts on the green this weekend, I believe. Celebrate New Haven. And I'm delighted to talk to him. I met him and his wife and his daughter. I don't know, back when he took the gig and he had a welcome to New Haven kind of reception at the Stetson Library. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's got a new addition to his family, but I'll ask about that. So I can't wait to talk to him and hear what his vision is for New Haven, the symphony here. And let me tell you something. I will say this. I've never met somebody more excited to be here than him. He really is excited to be here. Like, hands down, there's no other place I want to be. I'm here. So I'm delighted by that because I love when people love my city. And although I will miss Alistair Neal, and I will, and I do, um, I'm looking forward to what Perry So will bring to the symphony. I'm telling you, the symphony is showing us how to be a community. They are very inclusive. They are getting in community with people. And now they're gonna be in West Haven. I was like, I see you, Symphony. I see you. I was at their Mimosas and Music, or Mimosas and Melodies gala brunch. It was really nice. And that was very, very nice. And they were honoring some folks. So listen, I'm excited for them. I'm really excited for them. So Perry So is coming on at 9:15, and he's going to talk about when he takes the helm and what this looks like. And I told y'all one of my favorite things about the Arts and Ideas Festival is when the New Haven Symphony plays on the green. And they always do some curated invited collaboration thing. And I suspect this year's no different. So I'm looking forward to um what they do, what he does. So they're kicking off Saturday, Celebrate New Haven. And Perry So is leading musicians from across the city. So he's going to have the Hill House Marching Band, which is a great band, let me tell you. David Sawthorne, NHSO concert master and Prince of Violin, and Dr. Hanan Hameen and the Juneteenth Coalition. So there's going to be a lot going on, you know, a lot. So they're going to have the Stylettes Drill Team Next Generation, Keepers of the Culture, and Village Drill Team. So this is going to be good. Carly Callahan, vocalist, Sherry Brooks, actress and narrator, who is she is one of the most beautiful women in New Haven. The St. Luke Steel Band, Joy Lou, Spanish Community of Wallingford Mariachi Band, and dancers. So it's gonna be a lot, but we are here for it because nothing says New Haven like our art community. So I can't wait. So it's a lot going on, and he's here to talk about it. So, and he is also the chief conductor and artistic director of the Orquesta Sinfonica de Nevada, and has served as associate conductor of the Hong Kong Philharmonic, conducting fellow of the LA Philharmonic, and an artistic collaborator of the Orquesta Sinfonica del Principado de Asturias. in Spain, Asturias, and I'm the conducting faculty of the Manhattan School of Music. And when he was a student at Yale, he founded an orchestra and led the undergrad opera company and went on to train as a conductor initially under James Sinclair and subsequently with Gustav Meyer at the Peabody Institute in Baltimore. So he has received first and special prizes at the International Prokofiev conducting competition in St. Petersburg, Russia. And this whole thing, the symphony and the arts and ideas, is a partnership. So I'm very excited to see this continue and have him come on and talk about all things, what he's going to do for the symphony. And I believe they found a home here, and because they got a little daughter, I think they has to go to school. So I think they've worked all those details out. I think there's a new child. I think that's what I heard. And so I'm excited to talk to him. So he'll be here in a few minutes, and we'll get into it. But before I get into it, last night I took my sister to Joya for they had a press, like a press junket, like they invited press to come, and influencers and all that kind of to come and check out the rooftop space. So Tim Cabral and Avi did an amazing job. It's beautiful up there. I mean, it is really, really beautiful up there. I mean, I ate, I drank. It was wonderful. I talked to people. I talked to Todd Lyons, who was on my right, and the cat that does Connecticut Bites to my left, and his wife. They were there. So you might see, a few lines about it somewhere and all the publications that he writes for as a food critic. It was great. It was beautiful. The weather couldn't have been more perfect. The space is beautiful, very different than the dining room space. So I just want you to know. But the rooftop is a vibe. It's a real vibe. The service, of course, is impeccable. You know what sets a good restaurant from a mediocre restaurant is a commitment to service. I mean, sure, you can have people slinging food all day and bringing food, but it's really that service component, the front of house, which makes a huge difference. And it is quite impressive. So we had a good time. I had a really good time. So, and it was nice to have my sister hang out in my world for a little bit, And I don't think she realized how many people I do know, or how known I am, or how much social capital I enjoy. Let's say that, how much social capital I enjoy. So it was really nice. And then I met the young brother who has the beer garden over there on Orange and Chapel by Elm City, in the square over there by Elm City Market. And it's open. So he's going to be on the show too. So I'm going to have him on, and then I'm going to talk to him about his thinking around beer. And he's got a very specific mission, which I'm very impressed by. But anyway, I'm going to let Maestro Perry So into the room so that we can have a great conversation.
Great to see you. How are you doing?
All right, good morning. Y'all done heard me talk for about 14 minutes, but now here is Maestro Perry So, who is the new music director over there at the New Haven Symphony Orchestra, and we are delighted to welcome you. Hey, Perry.
Hey, Babs, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, I love having you on. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. We just welcomed a new baby.
I heard
We have a
that. See,
one
I
month old in
thought
the house.
somebody told me that. And I was like, I was talking about it. I was like, I think he's got a new addition. Boy, girl, what?
Little boy, Nicholas.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yeah.
How's the big sister doing?
There's some challenges. Everyone who has more than one kid knows, but it's been great. She's so sweet to him. It's really, really nice to see.
And have y'all moved here fully? Like, are you in a house in the space?
No, we'll be there in August.
Okay. And you found a place to live and all of that, or you got to
We
look?
did, yes. And we have a school for our daughter, and everything's getting
Yay!
set up. So we're so excited.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Now, where are y'all now?
We're in Minnesota, in St. Paul.
Okay, well, this is a good time to move because it's not cold.
Yeah, exactly. Not everything is frozen over like it is for 9 months of the year.
Oh my God. And Connecticut, our weather has changed a bit. We have not been experiencing those ridiculous cold winters. It's been more like Virginia.
Well, I remember that. I remember that snowfall. Like, when was it? Like 15 years ago, when like you couldn't move 5 feet on the streets.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess that's not the case anymore in
No,
Connecticut.
I think climate change is turning us into Virginia. So there you go.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to take over the New Haven? Now I I followed the whole process of the interview process where it was narrowed down to three folks or four folks, and they had to come and command the orchestra. I went to every last single one of them. I had my favorites. You were in my favorites. Um, and then when they announced, I was like, yay! And then I met you at the Stetson with your family to
You met
to
my
talk.
daughter, yeah.
I met your daughter who is delightful and smart, 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 and cute as she could
Thank
be.
you.
So everybody's been anticipating you coming. So what's it like to step into this role?
Well, we've been at work for a year now because it's been almost a year since that announcement. Um,
Wow.
it's yeah, I mean it's so exciting. Like, I lived in New Haven from like 2000 to sometime, sometime in the past decade I was in New Haven, and I never thought I'd be coming back in this role, at that time I was learning, kind of trying to put my life together, and now I'm on the other side of it, and I'm getting to have a chance to contribute and to tell the story that I think should be told by an organization like the Symphony. It's a challenging time for music, for classical music. You know, Audiences are not the same audiences that were there, but it gives us a great opportunity. And so that's kind of what we've been working on. Like, what do we want the Symphony to be? Like, we're at a crossroads here. What can we do with the Symphony that makes it a living organization
Hmm.
for the next generation, for people who don't usually think of the Symphony as their place? But it's tricky. I mean, there's a lot of baggage to deal with, and there's also, I mean, with any organization of this type, we have to think, well, okay, where's our money coming from, right? So we're balancing a lot of stuff, but the exciting thing is that New Haven is as vibrant as it's always been. And like, I reach out, I talk to people, and I realize for a city of its size, New Haven has a talent pool that is deeper
Yeah,
than any comparable place.
yeah.
And the quality of the ideas, the inspiration that I get from the conversations, it is just out of this world. And so, like, the opportunity to collaborate is really the thing that I'm so excited about. And of course, that's going to be so much easier when I'm actually there, right? I mean, I'm trying to do this kind of all, puppet strings from half the country away. But I have had some incredible conversations, Babs, and this is kind of where the season that we're announcing today, that's kind of where it's coming from. And it's also incredible to see the the kind of rejuvenation after COVID. Like, everyone was like, oh, people aren't coming back. Like, the halls are going to be empty. Everyone's going to be stuck to their devices, and they're going to they're going to watch things streaming. and that's not what we've gotten. People are keen to come back out. That sense
People
of
want to be
community.
outside,
Yeah, I mean that sense of
outside.
like being with people,
Yes.
and and that's what I think of the symphony as. We're a meeting place. We're a forum. We're, bring your friends, come with your family. This is where we want people to be in conversation with each other. And this old idea that the symphony is somewhere where you kind of respectfully go and sit there and listen, and your hands are clasped, and it's almost like a sermon. I mean, sermon in a bad way, right? I mean, um, I don't believe in that. This is an interactive forum. We're there for people to respond to have a dialogue with. Yell back at us. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a kind of reinvented way of experiencing music.
Mm.
And like somewhere in my past, I was a jazz musician, and I'm on the symphony stage, I miss the energy of the jazz stage, where you feel like the audience is right there with you, and if you do a really good lick, you know immediately, like the entire house blows up, right? And if you miss, you also know it immediately, right? And kind of moving the symphony a little bit more in this direction. And the problem is not that we don't have the greatest musicians in the world, which we do. We have incredible musicians in the symphony. Do we have an incredible audience? Yes, we do. But part of it is the culture. So, I'm kind of jumping from place to place here, but it's
No,
it's it's
you're
I mean,
absolutely right. I mean, it is the culture, and historically, the symphony, first of all, has not been inviting to folks, and you do feel like sometimes you sit there and you don't know when to clap, or you don't think you should clap, and you don't want to disrespect the musicians, you don't want to upset the maestro, and you know what I mean? Like I've been in that space. And so it's refreshing to hear you say you want to be interactive, because all other music forms are like that. Like you go to a concert and if it moves you, you say so, you jump up, you clap, that kind of thing.
absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, in my lifetime, I've gone from being a student sitting in a rehearsal where, well, actually, I mean, rehearsals and concerts alike, where the conductor like turns around and scowls at you when you clap in the wrong places, you
Ooh.
know, to now when I want people, if the clarinetist plays an amazing solo, like by all means join in, be a part of this. Um, and, and I just don't think that there's a role really for that kind of you know voice from on high telling us this is the way that music should be. Music is one of the most democratic of art forms,
Mm.
right? You can sing, you can dance, anyone can do it. And the music that we're putting on stage, I want it to be music that people want to sing to, music that people want to dance to, people want to clap to. And don't let anyone tell you that that's not the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. If it moves you, then the music is a part of your life. And that's what the symphony is trying to be. It's a long journey, I mean, we're talking about culture culture for better or for worse, right? And hopefully the programming that we're unveiling today for the season will show our audiences kind of where we're trying to go.
Hmm.
We're putting a lot of stuff that people love, that people know.
Yeah, because there are
A,
things that people love and they kind of
yep,
expect from their symphony, right? The
yes.
traditional things.
Hmm. But we're also drawing on traditions that have not really been represented on the symphony stage before. Like, for instance, we're closing the season with a concert of Latin American dance music with an amazing trumpeter from Venezuela who's coming to play two trumpet concertos. This is serious music, but not serious in the way that we've been brought up to think the symphony is serious. This is serious in that it seriously engages you know our emotions, the tradition of music in Latin America, the origins of this music as a kind of you know a forbidden conversation between
Mm.
Europe, Africa, and America. I mean,
Whoa.
I really feel that Latin American music is kind of the heart of the Atlantic story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this music has influences from all three continents.
Hmm.
And in a way, it's a story that is still waiting to be told. And that's why I really wanted to feature this kind of as the heart of our work. And to have someone from Venezuela who's, part of this kind of incredible movement to put music into the lives of children and families and kids who don't have opportunities to study with the best professors and so on. This idea that music is a democratic and a social kind of leveler. Um, and and Pacho Flores, my friend from Venezuela, he comes from this. He grew up poor, having these opportunities to learn the trumpet through this El Sistema in Venezuela. And yeah, and this music speaks so much to this kind of forbidden hidden history of the cultural exchange and the cultural marriages that happen between these three continents.
Hmm.
And sometimes I think we forget how much North America is a part of that story.
Yeah.
And America is not just Latin America. America is both North and South America. And so that's part of the story I want to tell. We have an incredible piece that we're doing in February, which I think is the great American masterpiece. But again, a voice that had been silenced. So get this: there's this guy who was born in Canada. Um, his name was Robert Nathaniel Dett.
Hmm.
He made his way kind of in the musical world. He went to Paris, studied with the greatest teachers. He was right there with like Ravel and Gershwin and all of these great names. Came back to North America, um, made a name for himself writing spirituals. So Dett is the great composer of spirituals. But what people don't know about him is that he wrote the great American oratorio. I mean, if you think of J.S. Bach or Handel or Haydn or Mozart, I mean, some of the greatest pieces they left were for orchestra, singers, and chorus, right? And I was thinking as I was putting together the season, like, where is the great American oratorio? Where's the great American sing along, right?
I love
And
it.
it's not the Messiah, because that comes from across the pond. Um, where's the Great American Sing Along? And I was looking and looking, and I thought, here it is. This piece is called "The Ordering of Moses." It
Yes.
it was performed first in Cincinnati in
Hmm.
1937. It was on national radio, and and this is the part of the story that I can't get over. Um, the piece is about like 55, 60 minutes long. 25 minutes into it, the announcer comes on and says, due to some unforeseen scheduling conflicts, we've had to take this broadcast off. And the story, as it appears, is that there were so many irate callers saying, "Why are you giving a national platform to a black composer?" that
Yeah.
the producers at NBC decided to take it off the air midstream. And because of that, we've lost this piece. You know, Porgy and Bess had great success on Broadway and then opera houses because, I mean, I guess because Gershwin was famous and he was socially acceptable, and
Hmm.
those circles were willing to promote a composer of his background. Dett didn't have that opportunity. Dett didn't have that good fortune, and this piece, which I think is one of the great American masterpieces, was lost. It was premiered at Carnegie Hall, get this, in 2014.
Wow.
Like, there were 70, 80 years when this piece was just kind of lost. But it wasn't entirely lost, right? I mean, black churches, community
Yes.
groups.
That's how
I
I
mean,
heard it.
great communities out there, musical communities know about this piece.
I know
But
about it. I went to a historically black college, and this
there you
is a
go.
piece that makes its way in that world. So,
But it should be a piece for everyone. It's a universal piece. And so, for the first time, we're getting to bring it to the New Haven Symphony stage. And hopefully this will not be the last time. Hopefully this
mhm.
becomes a part of the repertoire of the symphony. Um, so, we have Latin American music, we have Dett. I'm bringing a really good friend of mine, Wu Man, who's an incredible P-pop player. I mean, a lot of your listeners might know her from her work with the Kronos Quartet. I think
Mm-hmm.
Woman is incredible because she plays traditional Chinese music like no one else, right? I mean, she plays a traditional Chinese instrument. Of course she does. She also plays European music. She plays American music. She plays music from the Silk Road, you know, Azerbaijani music. She plays everything like she owns this music. And she is kind of one of the national treasures of China because she she reveals music for what we know it is, which is it has a particular historical and cultural background. But once it reaches the stage, once it gets into people's ears, it's universal.
Mm-hmm.
And she has done this kind of incredible work of bridging communities, bridging languages, bridging musical languages, like her entire career. And so she's coming to us with a new piece by a wonderful composer named Du Yun, who Du Yun is known because she won the Pulitzer Prize for an amazing opera that she wrote called The Bone Setter's Daughter, and she wrote
Mm-hmm.
this amazing piece. She wrote this amazing piece for Woman called Ears of the Book, um, and that's a reference to traditional Chinese opera, where books can listen to particular voices, and there's an amazing story in there that Woman will have to come and tell us sometime. And this piece involves not just her playing the pipa, but she's also in a way a narrator. She's kind of an interlocutor with the orchestra. There's a humongous percussion session. This is music that together also brings together different traditions. Um, so we have three programs that really kind of change the soundscape of the symphony, as it were. But as I mentioned, we also have a lot of music that's familiar. We're starting with Beethoven 9 because
Yep.
I thought, what do we need after COVID, after not being able to be together for so long? We need a good sing along. We need a good sing together. And so together with the debt, there's a lot of singing in the season because I believe in singing, right? Um, and Beethoven 9, we're going to do it with the Glee Club. We're going to do it with singers from around New Haven, from wonderful soloists from the New York and New Haven areas. The next program, we're going to do a little kind of potted history of New Haven Symphony. We're going to look at the European origins of the symphony, and we're going to pay tribute to the state composer of Connecticut, Charles Ives. It's his 150th birthday this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, the symphony has a long history, which, I think we should celebrate. At the same time as opening the doors, opening the windows, it's also a process of acknowledging where we've come from. So, and in my process of kind of wanting to get to know the orchestra better, we're going to do some Brahms. We're going to do a piece that I don't think has ever been done in New Haven. It's Clara Schumann's Piano Concerto.
Okay.
So we know Robert Schumann, right? I mean, he's because sadly, but truthfully, because he was the guy, he got the career. But Clara Schumann, or Clara Wieck, was one of the greatest pianists in history. And he married young Robert and then had 12 children. Um, but she's in a way also like dead, not forgotten. There have been communities that have been keeping her music alive. So we're finally bringing her piano concerto to the symphony stage. And in November of 2024, I'm so excited about this project, Babz. It's this is where I'm this is where the conversations have kind of really come to a head. One of the first things I did when I was offered the job was I called up Charmant Little, the poet laureate
I
of New
know the poet
Haven.
laureate very well.
Of course, and he's an incredible man. I mean, the depth of his vision is just incredible. And we had conversations about art in New Haven, what it meant to be kind of people from the outside breaking in to spaces that were not traditionally created for us. And um, and then I asked him one day, I said, "Hey, Sharmant, I'm kind of obsessed with this myth, Prometheus, the giant from ancient Greek mythology, who stole fire from the gods, gave it to humanity, taught humans how to speak, to dance, to be human. I'm obsessed with it, but I don't know quite what to do with it. So Sharman, let's figure out kind of if there's anything we can do with this. And it so happens that Beethoven wrote a ballet based on the Prometheus myth. And so Sharman and I are cooking up a dance project with the symphony, with the Tia Russell Dance Company,
Who are
and with
amazing people. Amazing.
I
They do
I
amazing
know
work.
I'm so excited about this, and of course with Charmant's poetry, um, to retell the Prometheus myth from the point of view of 21st century urban America, and to see kind of where this idea that we've kind of gotten the privilege to have language and to have dance and to have culture, but is there a dark side to it? Is there a power that's been unleashed that we can't control?
Hmm.
Fire. And is this an ill-begotten gift? And just kind of asking these stories, it's not particularly geared towards any kind of social or political question. I just and Sharman and I just kind of want to look at this and see if this story that's been around for 3,000 years might be relevant to the current moment. It might not, in which case we still get some beautiful Beethoven and some amazing dance from Tia Russell. Um, but we really think there's something in it. This idea that with power comes responsibility.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
with gifts comes responsibility as well. And so I'm so excited about this
I mean, you
because
look at you
yeah.
already collaborating with community. You're not even here yet, and you're already collaborating.
Well, I love it because I, at the same time as Beethoven and Brahms and Mozart and Tchaikovsky, who are my heroes, and I think for anyone who hears that music, they are heroic figures. Um, there are heroes in our midst. There are heroes in our community. One of the things that we really want to do is to discover the genius that's in our community, and
Hmm.
so to lift them up, to raise their voices, so that they are singing, dancing right alongside the giants of history, and so that they can become giants of history in their own time.
Hmm.
Um, and so this is, in school we used to kind of call it dismantling the canon, right? We're like,
Yeah.
who are all the people we've worshipped for hundreds of years, and now we're like away with them. I don't think the question is whether they should be done away with. The question is whether we are making space for new voices to be in the chorus right alongside them. And if we're doing right by our community, that's what the New Haven Symphony should be assessed on, whether we are lifting up the voices of the community alongside the greats of the past. And that, I mean, that is the exciting part of the work for me, because I mean there are plenty of symphonies out there that play Mozart and
Hmm.
play Mozart brilliantly. We play Mozart brilliantly. I mean that we have that down. But what we have here is an incredible city with an artistic and cultural energy that is second to none, not only in this country but in the world.
Hmm.
And and it's not even a matter of unleashing it, because it has been unleashed. I mean, there is so much art in New Haven. The question and the challenge for me is to enter into the right kinds of conversations so that we can amplify each other's voices,
I love it.
and we can use this amplification to ask the questions of our own art forms and of our own history that have been waiting to be asked for decades, for generations. And and my only regret is that we don't have more programs in which to explore all of these. But hopefully, I will be in New Haven for years and years, and we'll expand upon this conversation, and hopefully at the end we'll find that the symphony is a vehicle for everyone's hopes and dreams, and it's not just kind of a remnant of some history that is is only relevant to some of us. And of course, we continue to do our educational work. We have the young persons concerts, which I love. We've been doing these for, my goodness, like 85 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And we will be here in another 85 doing the same thing, because this is so important to be meeting young people and showing them how much we love music. And hopefully by the power of our love for music, they feel their own relationship with this develop.
And
And
so
we have a pop.
today you launch, right? Today the new season gets launched.
Yeah, at
And
noon the season gets launched. Tickets can be bought. Uh,
yes.
if you want a subscription, it takes 3 concerts only to get a subscription. So, if you love Beethoven, if you love Brahms, if you love Det, if you love Latin American dance music, if you want to hear sounds from Central Asia and inland China, that it's all there. And if you want to buy single tickets, that's coming up very soon. And also, I'm actually going to be in town tomorrow because we're opening the Festival
I was just
of
going to
Arts and
ask
Ideas.
you, celebrate New Haven. But
Exactly.
before we get to that,
Yes.
because I've been going over they sent me the sneak peek, and
Yes.
the pictures are gorgeous of the folks that are coming. I mean, the Ordering of
Yeah.
Moses pictures are beautiful. I'm so excited about the candlelight concert because that's a real thing. And I've missed
Or
the last wherever they are. I missed them. So I'm so glad that we're doing it. And I'm gonna get my ticket for that because
yes, and we're doing it
St.
twice
Mary's Church and by
in St. Mary's Church.
candlelight.
It's gorgeous, and of course, that's going to be with our wonderful concertmaster David Southorn. He last year he also led the concert, and it was just the most beautiful, and in this absolutely refined atmosphere, with the lights out, candles everywhere, enjoying this gorgeous music. So we're building a program for that, which will continue this extraordinary experience of
That's a
being
good
so
date
close to the
night.
music.
That's a good date night. Just
Incredible
FYI.
date night.
That's a good
Yes,
date night if you want to impress somebody. Like, let's go to a
yeah,
candlelight concert. That's a good, I'm just
absolutely.
telling you, the marketing people at NHSO, it's a good date night. Put it out there for
Well,
these young people.
and of course in December, um, that's a great time for families and music, and we have
Yeah.
2 Christmas concerts. We have the
I
Holiday
see that. I thought I
Extravaganza.
was reading this wrong. You have Holiday Extravaganza, Joy to the World, and then Caroling, Caroling, right? Is that right?
Exactly. And this is a continuation of my belief that we just have to sing together. So, the week before Christmas, if you love to sing a good carol or 5 or 10, come and join us at the New Haven Symphony,
Oh,
because we will
I
have
love it.
we're going to have the Elm City Girls Choir as well. And we're going to be in Woolsey, and we're going to lift the rafters with our singing.
I love
Um
it.
and
That
yeah, and
already
we
makes me feel happy.
we also have pops programs in November. Joan Allison is going to come sing some favorites from the 20th century,
Yeah.
American Songbook, Golden Age, studio recording. These songs that many of us grew up with. At the very end of the season, at the end of May, beginning of June, we're doing something for the very first time. We're doing a video game music concert. Um,
Whoa.
yeah, that's going to be so cool. And it's going to be, oh, I mean, everything's there. Zelda, Minecraft, Hollow Knight, Crosscode. I
Oh,
mean,
you know that's gonna be a whole vibe, and people are gonna treat it like cosplay. Like they're gonna be loving this.
that's the idea.
But that's a nice
So,
marriage. Like that's a very interesting, and I see it. Like I see how that could be amazing.
I mean, it's immersive, right? It's this music that you're used to hearing in one context, but now you're there just for the music, and it's live, and it's right up against all the other music that from video games that you played. It's just kind of an evening of great music that doesn't get played by symphonies very often.
Mm,
And
mm.
and so
Okay.
that's with our pops conductor Chelsea Tipton, and yeah, so
So we took so
some,
go ahead.
there's something there for everyone.
Oh, I listen, this is a great season. I don't you did you inherit anything, or is this, your full-on collaboration? Like you're like, no, no, this, that, and the other thing. You put this
This
together.
this is all us right here.
I
We
love
figured
it.
this out. Yep.
It's very joyous, I must say.
I'm glad to hear it. I think I mean music can do so many things, right? I mean it can help us mourn, it can bring us together as community. But one of the great things is it can celebrate. And it should be, it should be a celebration of life and of New Haven and of talent and genius and togetherness. I mean, there will be time for us to do things that are darker. But I wanted to send the message that we love music. And we're not holding it back from anyone. We're pouring it out there. It's something that we really really want to share. And actually, I mean, this segues to our program this Saturday for the
Yeah,
opening of the festival,
yes, this is
which
going to
is a
be
celebration of New
exciting.
Haven. Yep,
Yes.
I wanted to do as my very first concert as a music director, a program that really um, dug deep into the roots of music in New Haven. And of course, once you start digging, there's like 12, 15 days of music. Like I mean, I need a whole season and a half to fill with music to do with New Haven. But we've chosen a selection that I think tells an interesting story about how music has been a central part of New Haven's history and how many different communities have contributed to this story. So we have St. Luke's Steel Pan
Which I
coming to
love,
do.
Steel Pan. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
and they're incredible. And we have Joy Lu, who's playing the erhu, a Chinese instrument.
I know
We
the
have
early I know it because of Layli, who runs the Chinese organization here in New Haven, and I've had her on.
exactly, and Joy's part of this organization.
Okay, so I've had her on and I've
Exactly.
learned so much. And then the Schwartzman folks had the mashup between ancient Chinese music and Appalachian music. I went to that
Mm,
concert and I had them on as guests. And who knew that
that's brilliant.
those would be complementary genres of music that support each other. Oh, so I'm excited
Absolutely.
by this, Perry.
Yeah. And we have a tabla player, someone playing Indian drums. We have a lot of Latin American dance music. What else do we have? We have some film music, and all of this, everything has a New Haven connection in one way or another. And it's I just want to go out there and show that New Haven is one of the great musical centers of the world.
Well, I so
And that
appreciate that. I appreciate it. And I appreciate that Alistair Neal introduced us to Helen Hagen and Miss Price and these women that were lost to history, were lost in history, and now a new he helped inspire a renewed interest, and it sounds like you are building upon that legacy, that story a little bit, with sort of centering New Haven history voices in music. I
uh,
love this.
absolutely. And I think of Alistair's time with the New Haven Symphony as transformational because the focus and the viewpoint of the symphony really changed, I think. And this is work that we're going to build upon. There's I mean, there's so much incredible music out there that hasn't found its voice on the symphony stage. And as you mentioned with Helen Hagen, with Florence Price, Margaret Bonds, with
Yes,
great
Miss
composers
Bonds.
like
Yeah.
that, um, that's only the tip of the iceberg, right? So, and of course, there's a whole new generation of composers coming up whose voices we can amplify.
Yeah.
So, there's not enough time in the world, but we're working on it. We're gonna keep going at this, and we're gonna keep telling the story. And I hope that there are many people in New Haven who will want to come hear this story
Well,
because I think it's an important one.
launching at the Arts and Ideas Festival, because this is one of my favorite things when the symphony shows up, because I love all that big music outside.
Yeah.
we'll be outside and that music will just fill the green, with all that good. I mean, I just live for that. So I'm excited that you have such a very interesting and New Haven centered uh, 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 concert that people are going to go, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh, this works. This connects.
I want to tell you just a tiny little story, which I mean, I discover so many things putting together these programs. So Artie Shaw, right, the great
Mm-hmm.
clarinetist who grew up in
Mm-hmm.
New Haven, I had no idea that at the lowest point of the career of a great American composer, William Grant Still, Artie Shaw went and called up William Grant Still and said, "Hey, I want you to do a whole album of transcriptions for me." This is when Grant Still wasn't getting performed. This was kind of really at the low point in his career. And Artie Shaw was the one person in the musical establishment who turned to Grant Still and said, "Hey, you're one of the most talented composers of your generation. Come, let's do something together." And so on Saturday night, we have a little piece that Grant Still wrote for a ballet called Lenox Avenue. But
Oh,
Artie Shaw recorded it. It's a blues, and I think a lot of people will know it from the Artie Shaw cover. But we're going to do it in one of the original versions for violin and piano. And David Southorn will be playing the violin, and I'll be playing the piano from the stage at the beginning.
wow.
So
Wow.
that's just one of the little tributes that we're paying to luminaries from New Haven who have changed history,
Mhm.
right? I mean, who knows if Grant still would have had the career that he had if he hadn't had a leg up at the moment when he needed it.
And it gives
And
you
it
a
was
little bit
a
of a
son of New
jazz
Haven.
vibe. You get a little bit of your
Exactly.
jazz vibe in there. A little
Yeah.
bit. I love
Yeah.
it. Wow, this is exciting, Perry. So are you ready? Is the orchestra ready? Is everybody ready? Is it ready?
Well, we start rehearsal tomorrow. You know how we roll. I mean, we rehearse like 3 days before the concert or 2 days before the concert, and then we get on stage and we're ready to go.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean,
Well, when you got the best musicians in the world I mean, come on, they show up ready.
hey, I mean, this is what I'm telling everyone. I'm here because of New Haven and because of those musicians, because they are some of the best musicians in the world, as you say, and they can do anything. They're versatile. They're ready. They're full of love for music, and we put music on their stands. Let's find a direction for us to go in, and we're off to the races. It's
And it
it's gonna
must be
be it's gonna be
exciting
so much
for
fun.
them too, because here you come like a breath of fresh air, because every new maestro brings some new energy, and here you come bringing some new energy, that hasn't been seen, and uh, and I think that's probably really exciting. I mean, I know people on the street are excited, so I know the musicians
I'm,
have to be excited.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, sometimes I think of myself as a gardener because I mean, a flower is going to be beautiful kind of basically all on its own. You have to fertilize it a little bit, right? But um, and the analogy is that the musicians themselves are great artists. What I kind of need to do is just weed a little bit around the edges, make sure that we're functioning really, really well, and that
Mhm.
everything is being presented in the best possible light. So, um, in a way, it's a hands and knees kind of job, but it's a joyful one because
Yeah.
because everything's already there. The beauty, the passion, the skills, they're already there, and it's just a matter of like putting things in the right place, moving things around, and making sure that everything is being projected in the most wonderful way possible.
Hmm.
And I mean, one of the great excitements of this is that we are going to be changing gears, from concert to concert. Like there's not going to be a dull moment. Like every concert, and every moment of the concert on Saturday even is going to be a different style, a different way of thinking about music. I mean, moving from calypso to Chinese traditional music, in the space of 3 minutes. And then, we also have this amazing piece by Carlos Simon, a wonderful young black composer. He taking kind of strains of music from the South He wrote a piece called Holy Dance, and it's absolutely incredible piece, but really difficult. And so, the orchestra is going to be switching from one thing to the other, and they're gonna do it so well. It's gonna be incredible. So
Well, I love this because this will give the city a chance to sort of see your chops a little bit, what you're gonna do for the season. So there's like, well, if he's doing this on if he's doing this on the green, I've got to get to these concerts to see what else he's gonna do with this orchestra. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a wonderful debut. The weather is going to be near perfect.
yes, that's so important.
Sunny and warm. That's what you want for an outside concert. And I think it's going to be wonderful. I'm so glad that you're excited. I'm so glad that you are crafting a season of your own design. And I'm so glad that you have the real energy for this. Like I was telling people, I said, I see people, I talk to people all the time, but you're you're one of the few people I've met who are so excited about coming to New Haven, like so excited. And that's a nice that warms my heart because that means you're going to be committed to being here and being in community with all of us.
Well, New Haven's home for me. I think I've shared with you. I met my wife in New Haven. I mean, we got married in New Haven. New Haven holds a really special place in my heart. And so, I mean, when the opportunity came up to come back, I thought, you know what? It's going to be incredible. We're going to make it incredible. And especially because, I mean, as we were saying, what a wonderful community of artists. And yeah, it's going to be bottomless well of inspiration for me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can't wait.
Well, I'm looking forward to see what you do, Perry. So I will be in the audience Saturday night cheering you on, and I will be in those seats throughout the season to continue cheering you on and hearing all this good music and your interpretation of music and collaboration. So thank you for being here this morning.
Well, thank you so much for the conversation and thank you for the invitation.
Yes, and congratulations on the new blessing in your house, the baby.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Get some sleep. Sleep while you can.
I know. Best advice ever.
Ooh, sleep while you can. So,
Thanks so much, Babz.
I will see you on Saturday. Thank you so much.
See you on Saturday.
All right. Take
Bye.
care.
You
All
too.
right. So y'all can go to the New Haven Symphony Orchestra website. At noon, they will launch their new season. Get your tickets early because you know how it sells out. And then you'll be trying to call me. So get out there. And if you want to taste, come see it on Saturday. It's free, open to the public on the New Haven Green. They're going to be doing their thing and you should come check it out. So thanks, Perry. So, all right, Harry, I'm going to take a break. And then I'm coming back with the Schwartzman folks who is going to be on the green too. Well, they're going to be doing their thing at the Schwartzman Center because it's a dance. Everybody dance. Everybody can dance. Everybody can dance. So I'll be back.
Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org. Hey y'all, it's Babz Rawls-Ivy from 103.5 WNHH Radio. Attention all 1994 James Hill House class graduates, it's time to celebrate 30 years of memories. Listen, y'all are getting together June 22nd, 2024 from 5 to 9 at Cascade Fine Catering in Hamden, Connecticut. Your classmates want you to join them for an unforgettable evening of reconnecting with old friends. So listen, go to the James Hill House class of 1994, the 30th reunion page on Facebook for all the information. And don't miss it. Happy 30th.
If your home was built before 1978, dust around your windows and floors could contain lead paint. This lead dust can harm young children, affecting their kidneys and brain, and even slowing a child's growth. But lead poisoning is 100% preventable. You can do something about it. To learn simple cleaning steps to keep your family safe, visit nhvhealth.org. Together, New Haven, we can get the lead out.